Good evening and welcome to Northbeat. I'm Robert Holden. A search for a missing man in RV at Nunavut has ended in tragedy. RCMP say they were asked to check on the well-being of a 52-year-old man on February 27th. Police, along with local search and rescue crews, began looking for him and shared calls for help on local radio and social media. Later that day, the man was found dead inside a storage shack. RCMP say they do not suspect foul play. The death is now under investigation by the coroner's office. Meanwhile, an RV at a tuberculosis screening clinic is set to wrap up at the end of this month. Nunavut's chief public health office says TB outbreaks in Arviat and Nauyet are ongoing, but she says the Arviat clinic has accomplished a great deal after nearly a year in operation.
At this point in time, almost everyone in Arviat have been contacted to come to the screening clinic, and those who have been able to attend have been screened.
The health department is offering a range of incentives for testing at the clinic before it ends. That includes a $100 gift card. Residents can still get tested after March 31st at the local health center. Iran's attack on oil and gas infrastructure in the Persian Gulf are adding pressure to global energy markets. That's raising the cost of crude oil, which helps determine what Canadians pay for gasoline. And drivers here in the north are already feeling it at the pump. Nisha Patel has more on how this escalation is affecting fuel costs around the world and at home.
Iran's drones and missiles may have limited range, but now global impact, damaging critical energy infrastructure in the Persian Gulf. Saudi Arabia's largest oil refinery at Ras Tanura shut down. At a massive liquefied natural gas plant in Qatar, production stalled.
Iran thinks that is the only strategy that it can put enough pressure on Trump, particularly, to change the course of the action.
Now Iran's Revolutionary Guards say they've closed the Strait of Hormuz, threatening to set fire to any ship trying to pass. About a fifth of the world's oil and natural gas goes through this waterway. At least 3 tankers have already been damaged in attacks here. Insurers are withdrawing coverage. Dozens of tankers are stopped on either side of the strait, unwilling to risk passage.
Obviously, right now, Iran reacting to a lot of the U.S. strikes in a very unpredictable way, and that is part of the risk assessment that we're seeing show up in the price of oil.
The concerns this conflict will disrupt energy supplies, driving oil prices higher.
If we take the assumption that flows from the Gulf stop for 5 weeks, then I think we have to be prepared for significantly higher oil prices.
Oil prices last crossed $100 a barrel almost 4 years ago during Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Experts say to reach that level again would take serious escalation.
I think the market believes that there is a significant inventory buffer and that we're not going to get those very disruptive scenarios for now.
But the longer this war lasts, the more prices could rise, including at the gas pump. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
The federal government is launching a new national energy strategy aimed at supporting mining, major projects, and local energy needs. The plan would build new transmission lines and expand electricity trade across the country. Provincial and territorial leaders, including Yukon Energy Minister Ted Laking, were in Ottawa this morning for the announcement. They introduced what they're calling a national electricity corridor, a plan to connect regions with surplus power to places like the Yukon, where energy supply is limited.
Right now, our grids we have 13 islands in Canada of grids. They don't speak to each other. They often don't flow power to each other. In the territory's case, it's even more exacerbated. They're microgrids, islands within islands. So we have a real issue as a federation.
It's still not clear how long the overall project would take or what the final price tag might be. The man responsible for the Humboldt Broncos bus crash could be leaving Canada within weeks. Back in 2018, Jaskirat Singh Sidhu was behind the wheel of a transport truck that collided with a bus in Saskatchewan carrying a junior hockey team. 16 team members were killed and another 13 injured. Now, with his removal looming, Karen Pauls has an exclusive interview with Sidhu, as well as responses from the families of crash victims.
As he faces deportation, Jaskirat Sidhu and his wife Tanvir Mann treasure their family time.
It just haunts me, kind of. Nobody wants to be separated from their family, you know.
It's a nightmare, and we can't even imagine like the life without him.
Sidhu was responsible for the 2018 Humboldt Broncos bus crash behind the wheel of the semi-truck that blew through a stop sign right into the path of the Saskatchewan junior hockey team's bus, killing 16, injuring 13 others.
I wish I can do something that can take their pain away. I wish that day was never happened.
Sidhu pleaded guilty and in 2019 was sentenced to 8 years in prison. I interviewed him before he was granted parole in 2023. 1 year later, the Immigration and Refugee Board ordered his deportation. Now, one of his last avenues of appeal has been rejected.
He has a pending application for permanent residence on humanitarian and compassionate grounds. They can try to remove him in the meantime. We are seeing the wheels in motion to make that happen.
We think he should be deported.
Russ Harold's son Adam was the youngest player killed in the bus crash. He died just 6 days before his 17th birthday.
We've lost our child forever. It's not like he stole our car and we can go buy another one. We can never replace our children.
Harold says every anniversary, every mention of Sidhu is a trigger.
I'm not giving him a second chance. He's been here 8 years too long already. He's taxing our health care, taxing our legal system. I think it's time to move on.
But not everyone feels that way.
I think I just tell him I forgive him.
Christina Hogan was married to head coach Darcy Hogan, who was killed in that crash.
I just would hope that there's some way that he can forgive himself and know that he's allowed to be happy too.
Sidhu emotional when he hears that.
I have shame, I have guilt, I have sadness, and all of those things I deal with every day.
The Canada Border Services Agency says its job is to remove inadmissible people as quickly as possible, dealing first with the most serious cases, including threats to national security and organized crime. Sidhu is running out of legal options, so the agency has started making plans for deportation. But Sidhu may go alone. His son suffers from a rare lung disorder. Doctors say living in India would put him at risk.
So I'm in a limbo thinking like, what should we do? Shall I accompany Jaskirat or stay back here for my son?
This family, like many of those involved in the Humboldt Broncos tragedy, still deeply impacted by that fateful day. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Calgary.
The Northwest Territories government says it has the data it needs to demand more federal money for housing. Housing NWT assessed housing needs across the territory. That report says we need to build thousands of homes just to meet current demand.
It provides that evidence-based approach and provides us that better argument to get more money for more homes for Northerners, especially through the Build Canada Homes Fund. This is the first comprehensive territorial-wide study of housing needs that's been completed since the year 2000. And this time, we have taken a broader approach than previous reports. The Territorial Housing Needs Assessment brings together housing data with what we've heard directly from our communities to provide a clear picture of what is needed in each region of the territory.
Housing NWT President Aaron Kelly says the report highlights the bleak state of housing. The government is spending $150 million over the next 3 years to repair and replace aging homes. She hopes this report will bring more federal money to fix the problem. Parents in the Northwest Territories now have more childcare options. The territory has created 355 new early learning and childcare spaces since 2021. That beats its original goal of 300 spaces set for March of this year.
We're among the few jurisdictions in Canada that have exceeded our space creation commitment, which was to have 300 new childcare spaces by March 31st of 2026. This accomplishment relies on the dedication of educators, local organizations, and community members, as well as Indigenous governments who make these programs possible in communities across the Northwest Territories.
The new spaces are part of an agreement between the Government of the Northwest Territories and the Government of Canada to expand childcare for children aged 0 to 5. Most of the new spaces are for toddlers. Minister Cleveland says more work needs to be done to create options for infants.
Let's do this, guys. Getting ready for a game means being ready for anything. You have to be ready off the ice, too. That's why I remember 988, Canada's suicide crisis helpline. Anyone can call or text for free, confidential support from a trained responder. Like a spare stick, it's a good thing to have handy, just in case.
A claims program for harmed Canadians has begun as a result of a landmark tobacco settlement. If you smoked regularly before November 20th, 1998, and were diagnosed with lung cancer, throat cancer, emphysema, or COPD, you may qualify for a significant payment. To learn more, call 888-482-5852 or go to tobaccoclaimscanada.ca.
If you experienced harm while admitted to a federal Indian hospital between 1936 and 1981, you might be eligible for compensation. The claims period is now open. Free supports are available to help you submit your claim. Learn more at www.ihsettlement.ca or call 1-888-592-9101.
Welcome back. It's now 5 days since the Israeli-American war with Iran began, and it continues to expand. The CBC's David Common is in Tel Aviv and looks at how we got to this point.
We're in Israel, where blown-out windows tell part of the story of where we're at in this war. This latest chapter began when Israeli airstrikes killed Iran's supreme leader. The Americans joined this fight, and they alone hit more than 2,000 targets in the first 100 hours, that according to the Pentagon. Iran has responded by sending missiles and drones here to Israel, but they don't have any weapons that can reach the United States. And so they're targeting U.S. interests where they can. Those are U.S. military bases across the region, housed often in friendly Persian Gulf nations, which of themselves come under direct attack. Those Gulf states aren't shooting back at Iran, but they will shoot down projectiles sent their way. So too have some European forces protecting their own bases there. Iran has also tried to close the Strait of Hormuz off its shore. That's where 20% of the world's oil supply gets shipped. So the Americans attacked Iran's navy. The Pentagon says they've sunk 11 Iranian vessels in the Gulf of Oman. Now the Israelis have opened another war, targeting Hezbollah across their northern border in Lebanon, with both airstrikes and now a limited ground invasion. Lebanon isn't itself in the fight, but Hezbollah militants based there are. Those militants have loyalties to Iran. A dozen countries are now directly impacted by the action in Iran, and it's about to get more complicated. Multiple reports say the CIA has been arming the Kurdish minority in western Iran. The hope is they would become the boots on the ground rather than sending American troops en masse. That could work to topple the regime, or it could be a massacre, or become the result of years of violence similar to what we've seen in Syria. So what is clear at this point? Well, the Iranian regime still exists. The Americans don't want another forever war. And as always happens in war, civilians die.
That was David Common in Tel Aviv. Final. Final preparations are underway for the Arctic Winter Games in Whitehorse, with trading plans, logistics, and finances. Some may be wondering, how much do these games cost? CBC's Bruce De La Cruz digs into the numbers.
Next week will be my first ever Arctic Winter Games. 2,000 athletes from across the circumpolar world, all gathering in Whitehorse for a week of competitions. And it has me wondering, how much do these games actually cost to run, and who pays for it? We hit the streets of Whitehorse to find out what is the price tag.
I don't know, 100K? Maybe 100K.
I'd probably say about $1 million, if not $2 million.
Let's go with 20 million.
Now those were a few guesses, but this is what the Arctic Winter Games Host Society says the budget is for this year.
Yeah, this year it's going to cost us about $9.5 million to put on these games.
And here's what they say in the breakdown.
Our largest funders are government partners. So the Yukon government is contributing $4 million and $350 in kind. Government of Canada, they contributed $2.6 million. City of Whitehorse is about $250,000, but then about $500,000 in kind. And then our other largest partner is Lotteries Yukon, who contributed about $536,000.
An additional $1 million in cash and $750,000 in kind were provided by a variety of sponsors, including local businesses. Bilski says that the budget covers venues, transportation for athletes, and food costs.
It's about $1 million budget to bring up all that food and serve everything. And then we have improvements that we have to make to facilities and such. And then it comes down to staff and office space and sport equipment, and everything adds up to the $9.5 million. But
now I know what you might be thinking. $9.5 million sounds like a lot. But Bilski says that the cost of the games is worth it if they generate economic activity.
It's about 9.9 million total in economic activity across the Yukon that's projected through the Canadian Sport Tourism Alliance model projections from 2020, and we hope to that number's even bigger for us.
On Main Street in Whitehorse, businesses are getting ready for the influx of visitors.
We are expecting an increase. We know there will be an increase because we've been around for a few games before.
This sports store has been getting ready with inventory and even extending its hours during the Arctic Winter Games. Some other businesses are anticipating putting on more staff.
Well, we have B&B, the Big Red Barn. I know that that's full, starting on the 8th until at least the games are over, so my wife is happy with that. We have another little gift shop, Yukon North Border, which is a lot of hoodies and t-shirts. I expect that to be busy. I did have one gentleman come in from Cambridge Bay already, and he bought a bunch of stuff because it's considerably cheaper here.
It'll take some time to tally the total cost and financial impact of the games and see what revenue comes back from this $9.5 million price tag. Bruce De La Cruz, CBC News, Haines Junction.
And you can't talk about the Arctic Winter Games without talking about pin trading. Collecting pins is a highlight for so many people, including Yellowknife's Janet Pacey. She's been building her epic pin collection for decades. In 2020, she shared her story on how she began collecting.
I went to my first games in 2002, and I knew nothing about pin trading. I worked for CBC at the time, and our job there was to interact with the public. And we had a little table, there was Marty Brown and I, and we were handing out pins to kids, and they were just flipping out like, oh yeah, these are awesome, and they were part of a set. So we didn't really understand what was going on, and it took a little while to have all these kids surrounding our table to finally figure out what it was that was going on, that we were all trying to get, oh, you've got that set? Oh, I want one of those. Oh, I'll give you one of these if you give me one of those, and like, took a little while to figure out how it works. Mm-hmm. And then there's kids that are sharks are like, no, I want 3 of those for one of those. And it's like, oh, wow. Anyway, by the end of the day, I was hooked. Marty Brown, not so much. And that was in 2002. So 18 years later, I now have this banana cakes insanity that probably weighs 80 pounds. I'm not even sure how many are here. A couple of thousand at least, so.
My goodness. What would you say is your favorite set, pin set this week?
Well, I have a lot of favorites, but if I have to pick one, it's got to be the Yamal Bears. They've come up with all these great little bears. There's skating, table tennis, all the sports that the Yamal team have been taking part in.
So at every Arctic Winter Games, and especially if you go, you find out what the hot thing is and what was the hardest to find and that sort of thing. And then there's people that have been going to the games since its inception, people that I know that can say, well, that pin set doesn't, you can't find that as a whole set anymore. Like, you can't find that pin anymore. There's what becomes very coveted is something that's quite rare and hard to find, and that you would have to trade somebody a lot of pins just to get one pin, sort of thing. So that's fun. And in my collection, I have on all these boards, each one of those boards represents a year for Arctic Winter Games. My collection is Arctic Winter Games specific, and so I have decided, for me personally, that I will keep one set of everything and then trade everything else away.
Okay.
So,
tell me about the joy of helping kids start out.
Helping kids start pin trading is the best. So a lot of these are what we just call generics, right? They don't really necessarily apply to anything, but they will appeal to a kid. So if a kid is brand new to the games, a lot of the times at the games, there's kids that are from that community that are just wandering around, going to watch different games, and they just happen to come by the pin trading center. And like, what's this? And I'll give them 4 or 5 pins out of this collection and say, here, now you can go and pin and trade with somebody else, and maybe you'll be able to get the full set of 2020 pins that have been released through the games. And yeah, I get them addicted pretty quickly. So it's totally fun to teach these little guys, and and adults and teenagers, everybody. It's fun to show them how to get going and to watch them come back, 3, 4, 7, 12 times a day saying, Janet, look what I got. Oh, that's amazing. I'll trade you for that. So it's all a little self-serving, but it is all trading. It's teaching them the worth of something and making sure that other kids aren't hosing them for things. That sounds terrible, but sometimes a kid will say, yeah, this pin is worth 5 pins. And so they'll come to me and say, Janet, is this a good trade? And I'll say, no. If you gave them that and that, then that would be good for that. And it's my job to sort of know what's out there, what's been released. So I go a little bit early to the games and find all this stuff out. So.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I'm a super nerd.
What a hobby.
It's a hobby that I can't say nobody knows I have. It's not like it's spread all over my house. It's very well contained and organized. So.
I think you'll ever stop?
Why? Why would I do that? This has been like a labor of intensity right here. This has been 6 months of me like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna get all these organized. And this wool costs so much money, but it's sort of the best stuff to put your pins on. And anyway, No, I don't think I'll ever stop. How can I stop now? I got all this. Actually, my intent is to give away at least half of it during the games.
And you can see Janet Pacey's pin collection at this year's Arctic Winter Games at the CBC Pin Trading booth. And that is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, head to cbc.ca/north. Thank you for watching. I'm Robert Holden. Have a good evening.